Hitman, then Janadil towards the wide outside. On the run down now towards the final fence. Envoi Hélène goes on for Rachel Blackmore. French Dynamite on the inside. Hitman and then Shishkin only fourth. Over the final fence, Envoi Hélène by about a length to Hitman, who will now challenge in second. Back in third on the inside, French Dynamite. Shishkin looks held in fourth. They've got another 150 yards to go. Envoi Hélène is out in front, and he's going to win at the festival for the third time. The Ryanair goes to Envoi Hélène. Shishkin rallied.
Indo has kicked 3 lengths clear. A Plutard now.
Not, to be honest with you. I think we've identified a few little things that I hope we've sort of sorted, and I hope you'll see the Ascot Shishkin again today.
Well, if the way he's going around the paddock is anything to go by, I suspect we might. Now, he didn't want to line up at Cheltenham, and you said that you've put a couple of little things right. Can you give us any insight as to what those little things are?
Well, I'm taking the tongue tie off for a start. I don't know whether he was just not enjoying it. I mean, he only wore it for the first time at Ascot, to be fair. Didn't look like he was happy in it. And I don't know, he just, no, you're right. I mean, at Ascot, he was straight into the bridle and away. At Cheltenham, he was behind it before they even started, and yet he finished so strong. I mean, got in a muddle all the way round. It was an extraordinary performance, because he finished really well. So, you know, that always gives you a bit of encouragement.
And you're trying 3 miles for the first time. Are you confident about that?
You're never confident, but I'd be surprised if it was, you know, they're going to go a good gallop. They'll have to stay. There'll be no hanging around. I'm sure Hoyson goes a good gallop, and I can't believe he isn't going to. You know, we'll find out 2-5 at Ascot. He got that really well and was going away at the end, so let's hope he does.
Absolutely. Very best of luck.
Thanks, Lily.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so the signs are good for Shishkin on this first try at this sort of distance. And yeah, this is a very important race in its own right, and a very competitive one, even without Brave Man's Game. But of course, if he wins this, it puts him in the Gold Cup mix for next year. Right, Nicky Henderson seems happy. The horse looks great. Martin, you've always been a Shishkin fan, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So is he going to do it today?
Well, look, he looks more alert. He looks switched on, doesn't he? And I echo everything that was said about him in the paddock beforehand. So they're all positives. I didn't like much about the Cheltenham performance other than the way that he finished off, which was his ability shining through. But he didn't jump. He was hanging left. He was jumping left. And he wasn't really travelling from quite an early stage of that race. So, you know, he needs to be more alert, but not overly so on his first try over 3 miles. I've got some questions, like I have about most of the field, to be honest. I thought Conflated was the very solid option in the field. I think he's likely to give his running. 9-2, just trimmed into a 9-2 shot now. I think he's very likely to give his running in a race where the 3 ahead of him in the market are not sure to. Shishkin having been a little bit laboured and not at his very best last time out. Plutard obviously pulled up both starts this year. Yes, he was travelling well enough at Cheltenham, but it was a long way from home.
Yeah. Without getting wild about it.
Yeah, too far out to know, really, wasn't it? But the signs were certainly better than they'd been in the Betfair chase, but it was a long way from home, and Hoyson obviously took a crunching fall. I thought Conflated ran a screamer at Cheltenham. He ran really well. He didn't quite last the trip out, but he was in the mix for a long way. He was travelling strongly. He's fine at this track. We saw that last year when he was beaten by Clandezabo, and you know, it's just possible. He's not the best horse in the race if Plutard and Shishkin come and deliver their best form, but it is possible that doesn't happen and that he's the one that gives his running, or I could see that scenario happening. Garlaw, outsider of the field, he's had a good solid season, but I can understand why they're throwing their hat in the ring. But
he ran on well at the end of the run, didn't he? Suggesting this trip was what he wanted.
Yeah, no, he did. He ran fine. I think they've always felt that this trip probably would be what he wanted. But obviously, it's going to take others to underperform and him to jump up a little bit if he's going to cause an upset.
I'm sure there will be many in running hovering over the button as soon as the tapes go up with Shishkin. If he tanks into the first under de Boinville and says, "Yeah, I'm enjoying this," then he'll start trading very short, very quickly.
He will. I mean, if you watch Ascot and Cheltenham, they were polar opposites in terms of how he was going early on in the race. The writing was on the wall at Ascot that he was going to take a hell of a lot of stopping because he was really jumping, travelling through the early part of the race. That didn't happen at Cheltenham.
Big day for Brian Hughes. He needs a big Grade 1 win just to set the seal on another productive season, and he's been gifted the opportunity because Derek Fox is saving himself a Corrick Rambler on Saturday.
Great ride to pick up on a hoist, and we know that the demands of this track suit him so well. It seemed to be that immediately after the fall, in the aftermath of the Gold Cup, they were happy enough with him and how he'd come out of that.
Okay, lining up to the 4 as ever. He'll take some passing if he's on his A game, but then the same could apply to Shishkin and A Plus Tard in an intriguing bowl run this year for Alder Hey Children's Hospital. Alan Howes to call them for this Grade 1.
Flags are raised. Starter has them. Walking in. And they're off. Racing away for the £250,000 Grade 1 Alder Hey Aintree Bowl Chase. They go over 3 miles and a furlong and racing down to the first of 19 fences. They've all taken that well, being led by Ahoy Signor, a dual winner at this Grand National meeting in the past. Leading down towards their first open ditch, fence number 2 from Conflated. There's Maroon and White Silks. Shishkin over in third, going notably up in journey today. A Plus Tard just behind him in red, white and blue. And Garlaw, Jonathan Burke in the back there in the green and blue colours. On they go towards fence number 3. It's Ahoy Signor. Brian Hughes on board. He shows the way at the third. From Conflated, he was third in the Gold Cup last time, runner-up in this race last year. He shadows Shishkin, is against the running rail. Further length and a half away to A Plus Tard, last year's Gold Cup winner. Yet to complete in those 2 runs so far this. At the back of the field is Garlaw. So taking the turn then as they race out into the far side for the first occasion. And it's Ahoy Signor who continues to show out in front. 2 Conflated, racing to the outside of Shishkin. They're in second and third. A few lengths away now to A Plus Tard under Rachel Blackmore and Garlaw and Jonathan Burke at the back. Now the first of the 4 obstacles down the far side. Great jump there from the leader, Ahoy Signor. From Conflated, Keith Donahue. Shishkin chasing up that pairing as they go to the 5th. And then A Plus Tard and Garlaw. At this plain obstacle, Garlaw was untidy at the rear. Shaken up on the landing side. Now an open ditch. Fence number 6, Ahoy Signor. He got in a bit close there, didn't he? He maintains the lead though. From Conflated, Shishkin. Close up in third, yellow and black check for Nico de Boinville. Then A Plus Tard and Garlaw. And Conflated just coming through now to pick up the work. Conflated's moved into the lead. Ahoy Signor looking to come back at him though, as they race towards fence number 8, the cross fence, for the first time. Nothing in it now between the leading pair. They take each other on a bit, going towards fence 8. Conflated to the outside of Ahoy Signor. Now developing about a 4 or 5 length cushion from Shishkin. Over the cross fence, A Plus Tard lands in 4th, and Garlaw just getting a little way behind the others. Now gets a wake-up call as they turn back towards home and go through their starting point and race on towards fence number 9. Ahoy Signor has regained the lead now from Conflated on the run to the 9th. Shishkin in 3rd, then A Plus Tard and Garlaw chivied into it. The back marker of the 5 as on they go towards an open ditch now. Fence number 10. Ahoy Signor back in front and back with a clear lead over the ditch. 2 Conflated. He lands in 2nd. Shishkin in 3rd. A Plus Tard in 4th. And then Garlaw. This long run between these 2 fences. Approaching the 11th, which will be the 19th and last in another circuit's time. Ahoy Signor and Brian Hughes will lead them towards fence 11. From Conflated, Shishkin with a good look at the front. And then A Plus Tard and Garlaw a little bit slow at that fence. So with a lap to go in the Alder Hey Aintree Bowl, it's Ahoy Signor who shows the way, nearly 2 lengths in front. Shishkin is up into 2nd place now. Conflated in 3rd. Then A Plus Tard and Garlaw a further 5 lengths behind. They take the turn into the far run. Those 4 fences down the back again, their next jumping tests. Ahoy Signor looking for that Grand National hat-trick here at the meeting. Ahoy Signor leading by about 2 lengths. And the Aintree Bowl this afternoon from Shishkin in 2nd place. Conflated in 3rd. A Plus Tard is in 4th, and then Garlaw, fence number 12. Ahoy Signor hit the top of it. Shishkin moves up to his inside on the run down towards fence number 13. Ahoy Signor by length over Shishkin. Conflated back in third, then Aplutar and Garlaw about 10 lengths behind the second to last horse now. Shishkin angles a bit wider as they went over that open ditch, as Ahoy Signor still held sway as they run towards the final fence over on the back straight. Ahoy Signor from Shishkin, Conflated and Aplutar. He's in a little bit closer, Ahoy Signor. He gets away with it. Shishkin still travelling perfectly well enough in the hands of de Boinville racing in second. Conflated now moves to his outside again. And then Aplutar, as they work over that final jump down the back straight. Garlaw is still continuing, but about 12 lengths behind the second to last horse now. He's about to go down the side of the course. The cross fence coming up for the final time. This will be 4 from the finish. Running down towards the 16th, Ahoy Signor leading. From Conflated to the outside. Shishkin is back in third, then Aplutar at 4 out. Ahoy Signor laddie with the lead. Conflated travels up strongly to the outside. Shishkin now just been nudged along by Nico de Boinville in third. Aplutar and Rachel Blackmore trying to come up with something now in fourth as they begin to turn towards home. They've got 3 left to take in the entry bowl. Ahoy Signor is out in front and he leads by a length and a half to the outside. Aplutar tries to make the effort now. Shishkin is under pressure, just about maintained second at the moment. Conflated now beaten in fourth, and Garlaw has been pulled up. The final open ditch, 2 out, and Ahoy Signor into it and over safely clear by 3 or 4 lengths to Shishkin in second. Aplutar is now ridden along back in third. Conflated has been eased right off. They're racing down towards the 19th and final fence, and Ahoy Signor is 5 lengths clear. Shishkin is trying to get closer though. They're racing to the last. Ahoy Signor now only leads by 2 to 3 lengths at the final fence. Ahoy Signor landed in front, but here comes Shishkin to the outside. Shishkin is now on turns and he goes by up the run-in, and it's Shishkin who's going to be home in front in the entry bowl. Shishkin up in trip, he wins it. Shishkin beating Ahoy Signor. Aplutar in third. Conflated was pulled up before the last.
Oh, pulsating, absorbing bowl here at Aintree. And it has been won by Shishkin, Nico de Boinville for Nicky Henderson. Ahoy Signor, how bravely did he run? He blew the race apart and was run down only in the final strides. Shishkin, would he get this distance? He needed every yard of it today to get on top. But as has happened before, he's had to show courage to match class. And Dr. Jekyll has eclipsed Mr. Hyde as regards Shishkin's last few runs. Second, Ahoy Signor, nothing Mr. Hyde about him. He has given it everything under Brian Hughes, and the pair are a mile clear at the line, Jonathan.
I think that's Ahoy Signor's best ever run. I mean, they've absolutely thrashed Aplutar and Conflated. I thought Aplutar was given a superb ride to be played as late as possible. He's shown something better today, if not his best. And Conflated has been left for dead, and he's a very solid competitor. What a fabulous race. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I mean, it really was, wasn't it? And Ahoy Signor barely put a foot wrong. There was just one down the back that he missed out. He let fly at the last, didn't he? But he was fine, and he was already just starting to be gathered in by Shishkin at that moment. But he put on, generally, overall, it was a fine round of jumping, and he travelled really exuberantly all the way through the race. And Shishkin, well, he